Halfway through the BiS Formula 3 Championship, and the story has taken a twist. Clay Morris looked untouchable early on, 8 wins from the first 9 races, but Bathurst proved that he can be beaten. 3 races, just 1 win, and suddenly the challengers have found belief. 10 drivers remain in mathematical contention, but the momentum feels different. Every round things could shake up, but with every driver in tow, taking points off each other, the gap seems a tough ask. But Spa, with its history and speed, could be the place where the title fight truly ignites. Can Morris reassert his dominance, or will we see another new winner step forward? This is round 5 of the BiS Formula 3 Championship from the mighty Spa-Francorchamps. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the production booth today is going to be the one and only Mr. Reese, the Southpaw Racer Gardner, Christian Hill there at the production controls. Reese, welcome to the show, sir.
And welcome to the show to you too, Zippy, and to everyone watching out there. This championship has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed every single round. We're only going to have 2 to go at this present time, the first of which is, of course, taking place tonight. The schedule for this championship has gone to some fantastic tracks. We are, of course, at Spa for the second last round. We go to Jerez next round, but you see there the wins total for Clay Morris. He dominated the first 2 rounds. Jamie LeVay managed to sneak in a win round 3 at Imola, and then we had Ozzie Milwain, Clay Morris, and Zach Buchanan taking wins at Bathurst. So it looks like things are starting to shake up a little bit more towards the end of this 6-round season. Oh, it's going to be great. Meanwhile, the track itself, I mean, what a circuit this is. Welcome to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, deep in the forests of the Ardennes. This legendary 7-kilometer ribbon of tarmac is one of the most iconic circuits in the world. The lap begins on the main straight into the La Source hairpin over at the left side of the screen, a tight opening corner that funnels the field together. From there, it's a blast downhill into Eau Rouge and Radillon, a flat-out uphill roller coaster that tests bravery and precision. At the crest, drivers unleashed onto the Kemmel Straight. Slipstream battles raging before braking for Lecombe. Malmedy, Bruxelles, and No Name demand rhythm and grip before the swoop through Pouhon at turns 10 and 11, a double left taken at astonishing speed. Through Campus and Stavelot, the cars are set free again, charging down the endless run towards Blanchimont at turn 17, one of the fastest, most dangerous corners in motorsport. The bus stop chicane then decides the lap, a final heavy braking zone before crossing the line. Spa-Francorchamps is fast, flowing, and unforgiving, a circuit that rewards total commitment. To master Spa is to master the very essence of racing. Just beyond the track lies history too. Near the town of Malmedy, the Bonnet Crossroads was the site of fierce fighting during the Battle of the Bulge. Spa's quiet forests once echoed with war, and tonight, in the virtual world, they roar with the sound of the BiS Formula 3 Championship. How are the standings looking, Zippy?
Absolutely fantastic stuff. The drops are indeed now active. Drivers drop their 2 lowest sprint races and lowest feature, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot drop the final round. Drivers with a large drop figure have more points in their pocket to cover bad results. Drivers with 0 drop points have nothing to fall back on. Drops and bonus points do not affect the team's championship. And as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely fantastic stuff. Clay Morris is indeed dominating. Milwain's there in second, and it gets a little bit closer for third between Andrew Harmon and Michael Broomhead. Actually, only 2 points between Broomhead and Nikardabev there for P4. We've actually Scarelli there very closely in tow. Fantastic stuff. Let's take a quick look over as well at a couple more of the championships going on, ladies and gentlemen. You can see there a little bit there. Joseph Yang, actually Keenan Harris and Mark McDonald very close as well.
Yes, plenty of close calls in the point standings here. We've got to remember that sprint races, 2 of which will be taking place here tonight, have 40 points for a win, and the feature has 80 points for a win. So there's going to be a lot of points swinging in order for anyone to overcome Clay Morris. In the team standings, Radical Britannia Racing leads the way. That's Clay Morris's team, with Doppler Britannia iSports a distant second. Well, we'll see how things work out between Assad Nakatambev Racing and Lima Racing. They're battling hard in the points standings as well, Zippy. It's going to be a fun one indeed. Let's check out how things are going to work out tonight.
Well, as you can see here with the race format, ladies and gentlemen, race 1 will be 10 laps, race 2 will be 10 laps. So race 1 set by qualifying, race 2 set from the race 1 result, but then the feature race will move us up there to 16 laps, or indeed 25 minutes for the top 10 grid invert as well. It's going to be standing starts. There is 1 fast prepare available per race, no full course yellows, and it is a fuel limited feature race. These drivers will have to make a pit stop, and not only that, incidents will be important tonight, with 15 to penalty and 30 to disqualification, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely got to keep an eye on those incident points.
Yeah, have to be very careful of that. Spa in the past was notorious for being very easy to get off tracks on, and you can still get off tracks pretty easily around here, but you can use quite a bit of the curbs around here. Just beautiful scenery at this circuit, nestled in the hills and valleys. Well, qualifying is over, and it is time to take to the grid. We have Jamie LeVay taking pole position for the first race of the night. Incredible stuff from Jamie LeVay. He's got the championship leader alongside him on the front row. Already 1 win to LeVay's name. Can he pull it off again? Tyler Scaralli and Zach Buchanan are going to round out the second row of the grid. We have Ozzy Milwane lining up in 5th spot, with Michael Broomhead starting alongside him. Then we have Assad Nakatambev and Keenan Harris in 7th and 8th, and Cairo Enns, Zippy, is joining Alex McLean on the 5th row. They round out the top 10.
Yeah, definitely very happy to see Cairo making a join. But as we have a look here at P11, it's going to be Robert Ridgway alongside one of our favourite people, ladies and gentlemen, Lima Racing's very own John Benvalid. He's got Clovis Gerard, the man himself, right behind him, 13th. We said to go high on another person in my favourites book, ladies and gentlemen. The number 36 driver is there in P14. Richard Swindells, Ridgway Racing Setups, he's there in P15 alongside Robert Covey. Keep an eye out for that beard in this show. He's got his driver cam switched on. Graham Loveland, he's going to be there in 17th, with Harlan Goldburn alongside in 18th. And at the back of the grid, ladies and gentlemen, surprised to see him back there, Mauricio Parada, the part of Asada Card and Bev Racing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, quite difficult to make your way up from the very back of a grid in a championship this tight, and especially at a track like this. He'll be focusing on the slipstream as soon as he can and hoping to survive the onslaught of those first couple of turns. We have about 25 seconds remaining on the grid timer, so not much time at all, Zippy. I understand you got Cairo Enns for a brief chat.
Yeah, Cairo, your debut round here at BiS. What's going through your head right now? I guess empty rooms
on the race.
Yeah, fair play. It was worth a shot, ladies and gentlemen. We'll drop him back down again, but certainly we're going to wish him a huge bit of good luck there on his first debut round here at BiS. We may have pillaged him from elsewhere, ladies and gentlemen, but it's fair to say he is a potent driver, as indeed we are getting ready to go. The lights are up, and are we going to see Jamie LeVay be able to secure a win against Clay Morris as green, away they go, and that's an absolutely fantastic start from Ozzy Milwane. But as I say that, Cairo Enns black flagged on the start. I guess he was just a little bit too keen to get going here at Spa.
Yeah, and Tyler Scaralli bogged down on the start as well. He's fallen to 5th place as they make their way down to Eau Rouge for the first time. The kink at the bottom of the hill, up through Radion, flat out in a Formula 3 car, but they'll be getting some aero disturbance racing this closely on cold tyres. It's difficult to make your way through, and moves are already being made there. So Jamie LeVay continues to lead. Buchanan finds his way into 2nd, and there's Buchanan dipping over to the racing line there to protect from Clay Morris, and Ozzy Milwane gets into it as well. Our championship leader down to 4th.
I gotta admit, this is probably the biggest race of the season that I wanted to take part in. I did try and find cover just so I could go and have a little bit of fun there. But I believe that's the start of Nakatambev trying to make a move up there on the inside. More battles happening further back in the field as well. I believe that's Robert Covey having a battle there with Clovis Gerard.
Yeah, good stuff. Towards the rear of the field, but have a look at the run up the front here. Super close. And Clay Morris continuing to pressure Aussie Milwayne continuing to pressure Clay Morris there in the battle for third. Scarelli holding on to fifth ahead of his teammate at Britannia, Michael Broomhead, and Asad Nakatembev staying where he started in seventh spot. It's so difficult to pull off a move here on the first lap.
Well, as you say that, I believe something has happened with our bearded friend, the driver of the number 72 car, Robert Covey. Something has indeed occurred. Alex McLean's gone off track as well, but he appears to be okay. Let's have to see if we can catch a replay of the number 72 in just a few short moments.
Looks like Mauricio Parada did not take to the start either, so we won't be seeing anything from him tonight, potentially. Broomhead versus Scarelli through Blanchimont. And here comes the move to the inside. The door opens for our series administrator, and he gets through into fifth place. And Asad Nakatembev and Keenan Harris try their best to work things through there. There goes Cairo Ends coming into the pits to serve as black flag. The only real casualty so far, apart from Robert Covey. Meanwhile, Asad Nakatembev gets up the inside of Tyler Scarelli at La Source, and we have drivers dipping wheels into the gravel trying to keep up the speed.
Yeah, that was Keenan Harris there, dipping a little bit of a wheel, but right now he's got John Benberlin right behind him as we go on board with Aussie Milwayne. This is the battle for P3, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, we're up to the battle for first now. Zach Buchanan here, having a good fight here with the 444 car of Jamie LeBay. Now, these guys have definitely tangled before. It's been good racing. Are we going to see even more of it as they're trying to break the stream there as they head down towards the right-hander?
Yeah, let's see how it works out between them. Behind them, Milwayne and Morris continuing to battle, and it looks like Milwayne was able to defend the position. For the moment, Jamie LeVay seems to have this circuit sorted. He's led by about half a second thus far. Nakatembev, meanwhile, making another attempt there on Tyler Scarelli, evidently unsuccessful in getting past him the first time around. Oh, dipping a wheel into the gravel. So easy to do here. He's lost momentum, and now he goes defensive into Pouon. This is a scary corner, Zippy. It's downhill. It's just about flat out in these cars, and oh, they almost come together again.
Yeah, certainly I think Scarelli's maybe trying to use a little bit of the off-tracks there for a bit of preservation, as that's a hell of a move back from Keenan Harris. And it's fair to say, I think it might have actually paid off. Not quite, though. Scarelli still keeping the nose in, and look right behind as well. John Benberlin's got a front row seat for this. Is he going to be able to sneak his way up on the inside of Scarelli as well?
Yeah, that is the question. Good job from Keenan Harris there. He's had a couple of adventures so far in this race. And as we find our way through the field, there's been some good runs up through the field. John Benberlin was up into 9th place by the end of the first lap, and it looks like he's going to try his best to make it up another 2 positions side by side from Blanchimont, and then almost 3 wide into the bus stop chicane. Benberlin grabs Scarelli around the outside, but the door closes. Scarelli is sent off into the wall, and that's going to be some damage for him. Front wing is gone, stuck under the car. That can't be healthy. Yeah,
definitely. The chicane can be a prime passing opportunity, but definitely isn't hard to catch up onto another guy. Certainly, having raced Benberlin myself, I haven't raced Scarelli as well. Neither of these guys would have done it intentionally. There's a little bit of floor error is how it's being commentated by our producer. Firstly, he's got an ulterior setup there, having that front wing removed. You see there, the 248 car. That's Graham Lobban. He makes his way by pretty easily.
Yeah, but as you can see, no front wing means no grip, and front grip is all you need around Spa-Francorchamps. Benberlin has found his way past, he briefly found his way past Robert Ridgway. It looks like Robert's been able to get it back past Benberlin again, trying to find a move up the inside, but I think he's looking for it in places where it's not going to easily come to him. Round the outside at Bruxelles, this move can be done. Benberlin just needs to be aggressive, and it looks like he'll get alongside into Jackie X, but it's not going to happen. This is a good defense here from Robert Ridgway for 8th.
Yeah, certainly Benberlin's definitely applying a good amount of pressure, and Ridgway as well. Very clean race, actually, but all 3 of these drivers, they're very clean races as well. But definitely he's feeling a little bit outnumbered, I'm sure, at this point. He's got 2 of the Lima racing cars right behind him. Cedric's almost going, you can see him there. He wants to have a crack at it, but I think he just wants John to get by first to see if he can then make a bit of action as well.
It looks like Gerard, McLean and Goulbourne will potentially jet up to the back of these guys if they continue battling like this. It's almost a bit of a slipstream stalemate that's starting to form at the moment. We have drivers getting just a whisper of slipstream off each other, especially up the front, but no one's able to quite get close enough for a move until you get to Ridgeway and Benvalid. Here's the momentum for the Lima Racing number 8. He'll have the outside line. Zach Buchanan with an issue ahead. The smoke that you're seeing them drive through is from Buchanan. Benvalid unsuccessful in getting past Ridgeway once more, but what happened to the number 40 of Buchanan?
It's definitely not the performance he was looking for. He's dropped that down to 7th place. We'll have to take a quick look. As I say that, Jamie LeBay has just set the fastest start of the session. He's actually clear about 2.5 seconds over Aussie Milwain. Don't get me wrong, Aussie is potent, but he's got Clay Morris 3/10 of a second behind him.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one here for Milwain, Morris, Broomhead and Nikardenbev trying to catch up to LeVay, who's already won one race this season at Imola. Morris made his way past Milwain for second. So that's important points for the championship leader as Benvalid continues to try and find his way past Ridgeway. This time, Zippy, he's got company in Cedric O'Hyan.
Yeah, I think Cedric's just giving him the space to try and get the move done. These guys, I'm sure, will be talking, and it looks like we've got a little bit of a couple of replays to get up here. Let's take a quick peek and see if we can catch it before this battle heightens up a little bit more.
Yes, indeed. Oh, little tap there for Benvalid as we check out what happened to Robert Covey, and that was a bit of a late move from the driver behind. Covey was taken by surprise, and well, unfortunately for him, he falls all the way to the back of the field. Next up is Tyler Scaralli. Something going on here. That's between Benvalid and Scaralli. So yeah, evidently Scaralli and Benvalid, they probably more space should have been given, of course, but you know, it's all much of a muchness at that corner. It's very difficult to get your way through. And finally, Zach Buchanan locked up his rears coming into the bus stop chicane. Heaviest braking zone on the track, and yeah, the rear just went. He just very slightly taps the wall. All that's been injured is his pride for the moment.
Yeah. Well, as I say that, it looks like we had a little bit of a reversal now. John Benvalid has tucked in behind Cedric O'Hyan. He's now dropped back by about, actually saying that, Clovis Girard's just gone by as well. So, okay, what is happening with Benvalid at the minute? As I say that, though, let's stay here with the battle for P2, ladies and gentlemen, as Mike Broomhead as well get into a battle with Sardan Nikardenbev right behind him. Two battles going on. You can see them both in your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Clay Morris and Aussie Milwain for second, and Michael Broomhead and Sardan Nikardenbev for P4. As I say that, Broomhead snakes ahead. Sorry, Nikardenbev snakes ahead.
Yes, Broomhead got a big snap in the bus stop chicane just a few moments ago, so has lost the place to Nikardenbev. Here's the P2 fight, Milwain versus Morris up ahead. And the slipstream is there. They will pull alongside each other. Jamie LeVay just minding his own business out the front now. It looks like he'll be almost uncatchable. He leads by 3 seconds as Milwain makes the pass.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. I can tell you the fastest lap was taken away just a moment ago, as these guys are now going to go side to side here. Clay Morris looking to fight back, about a 10th of a second in it, but Milwain in the number 14 manages to hold on.
Yeah, good job from Aussie Milwain. He's... Oh, Morris, my God, catching the curb on entry, nearly gets into the tyre barriers. That was a hair's breadth from disaster, Zippy, for our championship leader. Now he's going to fall back into the fight here between Nikardenbev and Harris.
Well, as much as we love Assad, he's definitely going to be keen to take a chunk and see if he can get his way ahead of Clay Morrison. And not only that, he's got Keenan Harris with him, he's got Buchanan with him, and he's got Broomhead with him as well. This could be bad news here for Clay Morris. He's now gone from being in a contention here for P2. He's potentially could fall all the way back here to P7 if he doesn't get a move on in that Formula 3 car.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we'll hope that Morris will be able to keep things clean here. But, oh dear, bad news. It looks like we've just lost John Benvalid and Alex McLean getting back up to speed. I get the feeling there was a coming together somewhere, unless those are two separate incidents, but that's a real shame for John Benvalid. 2 laps to go up the front. Here's what happened.
And you can see here the driver, the number 8 car, he's going around the left-hander, just catches it a little bit in the sand, and it's fair to say that the grip was exceeded there, shooting bits of debris all over the track. That explains Benvlid, but what happened here to McLean as well? Let's have a look at the number 69 driver there. You got Cedric O'Brien right behind him there. And yeah, just goes to avoid it. Cedric puts the brakes on as well, and a little bit unlucky there, but thankfully able to keep the car in one piece.
Unlike poor John, that's a real shame for the number 8. He was having a good race. McLean will rejoin in 15th, and we move back up to the front here. 1.5 laps remaining for our leaders, and Nakadambev still fighting with Harris. Contact again through Lacombe, and that's some bodywork gone. Then side pod deleted for Asad Nakadambev. Wheel to wheel, wheel to body contact in open wheel cars. It never ends well.
Yeah, it looks like he's bent the floor up on that left side as well, but fair play to the young lad. He's managing to keep hold of it for so long, and certainly the cooling will indeed be potentially improved depending on the aerodynamics that are remaining on that car. But regardless, he is still there in P7. It looks like we've got Keenan Harris still applying a good bit of pressure there to Zach Buchanan, trying to make his way up into P4.
Yep, still working hard for these drivers. Ozzy Milwane and Clay Morris now separated by a second or two. And it doesn't look like there's going to be much to say about that battle unless there's a mistake from Morris. Our top 3 have spread out. The closest battle for the moment looks to be either between Nakadambev and Ridgway for 7th, or Buchanan, Harris, and Broomhead, the trio behind them. So yeah, this is going to be the big one, I reckon. So
yeah, it looks like
keeping an eye on.
Apologies, Reese. It looks like Ridgway is definitely going to be under pressure there, as Nakadambev is literally alongside right now, so he must be there up on the inside. Now, certainly the chicane can be a great place to pass, but also a little bit sketchy there. But Ridgway does a fantastic job defending it. Don't get me wrong, Nakadambev's going to get a better exit speed, but realistically, passing at turn 1 is not generally beneficial at Spa, because all that's going to happen is they'll slipstream you up through Eau Rouge and basically take it back on the straight.
Well, looks like the final lap has begun, so now is the final opportunity for drivers to work out their fights here. Ridgway has been defending like an animal the whole way through. Don't forget, Ridgway started 11th as well. It's been a good run up the field through him, 4 places gained, and he's already trying to break that draft for Asad Nakadambev. He doesn't want any advantage to be gained. I'm sure he knows that Nakadambev is carrying some damage as well, so he's going to be at a disadvantage in the high-speed flowing turns of this brilliant circuit.
Absolutely, as you can see here, Ridgway doing a fantastic job. Actually, yeah, this is one of his better races right now, and not only that, he's up 4 positions as well. But let's give this guy a little bit of a shout out, actually. The driver of the 127 car, Harlan Goulburn, currently the hard charger in the grid. He's up 7 positions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. It's worked out very well for him. So we'll see if he can maintain that momentum. There's gravel being thrown up all the way around this place. I mean, it's frankly pretty crazy how hard these drivers are pushing. Clovis Girard trying on Asad Nakadambev for the moment, but not getting through. So that's going to stay the same at least until Blanchimont, if Girard can get a good exit from Stavolo here in the battle for 8th. The timer officially hits 0, and Jamie LeVay is on his run up to the start-finish line. Honestly, what a fantastic drive from the 444 machine here, Zippy. He is going to take a well-earned 2nd victory of the season here at Spa.
Certainly, Jamie LeVay is indeed a very potent driver, teammate there to Andrew Hartman, who's actually not here this evening. Certainly, we have to give him a little bit of stick, ladies and gentlemen. A well-deserved win by the 444 of Jamie LeVay. Ozzy Milwane brings it home in 2nd with Clay Morris in 3rd. Let's head over there. I was going to say, let's head back over, because it looks like Clovis Girard has managed to make his way past Nakadambev, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do, I believe that is Alex McLean. There you go. Girard makes it past Nakadambev. So let's see if we can actually get a replay of that, if we could there, Christian.
Well, we'll see if there's time in between the heats flipping over. The session moves forward very quickly in these multi-race servers, so we might not get an opportunity. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, that's going to round things off there. And well, we'll keep our eyes on the number 27 here, and yeah, it just looks like maybe a bit too much curb on the run up to the line. No,
He was ahead. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, so he made the pass coming up to Blanchimont as expected. Well, looks like that's going to be the session flicking over then. So as we check out how he managed to grab it, nicely done. We'll move through to the grid for race 2, which is basically the finishing order from race 1. So LeVay's going to start on pole position once again here, with Aussie Milwane alongside him. 3 spots gained from race 1. Then we have Clay Morris starting in 3rd alongside Zach Buchanan. Keenan Harris making up 3 spots to finish 5th. He's going to start alongside Michael Broomhead, who basically has no change in his position from race 1. I think the only driver to do so. 7th place for Robert Ridgway. Clovis Girard's going to start alongside him. And then Nakad and Bevan O'Hyan round out your top 10.
So have a look there at P11. It's going to be Richard Swindell's alongside Alex McLean. A good recovery here from him, considering he was at the back at the start. Then we got Graham Loverman. He's there in P13 with Robert Kobe there in 14th, our bearded friend himself. Tyler Scarelli takes 15th with Cairo Enns, newcomer here to the BiS series. He's going to be there in 16th as we head back to 17th. Ladies and gentlemen, Harlan Goulburn's going to be there along with John Bemblid in 18th, and then Mauricio Prada, who is not actually here. I have a feeling something happened to Harlan Goulburn in the closing stages of that race. I did see a warning saying he'd had an accident, but I just thought he got over the line and then had a little bit of something. But obviously, the final stages of that race not quite going to plan for the 127.
No, there's been a lot of varying fortunes at Spa today, but we will have one more opportunity for 40 more points for a win here. The track is nice and cool, 24 Celsius, with it being lovely and sunny in the Ardennes today. Clear conditions, not a cloud in the sky. Small amount of wind coming from the southwest, but I'm not sure if that's going to affect the aerodynamics of the cars all that much. Regardless, we're getting ready for another start here, Zippy. Another short run down into the hairpin. We'll see if everyone nails the start this time.
Yeah, certainly. I think Cairo's going to be keen not to get a black flag. Sorry, fella, but actually, I hate to roast him. But usually, Scarelli's pretty good for getting keen off the start. Sorry, buddy, but definitely going to have to keep an eye here. I mean, you get it. There's so much pressure. There's so much anticipation. As away they go, and that looks pretty clean. And looking at the timing of scoring, I see no black flags as well. But it's an absolute hornet's nest of Formula 3 cars as they make their way down towards turn 1. 3-1 in multiple places. 2 rows. As I say that, Buchanan goes around, backs into the inside pit wall. Bad news there for Buchanan.
Cold tyres on the first lap. You've got to be so careful on the power. It's very easy to spin out. Broomhead here fighting with Robert Ridgway, Keenan Harris, and Assad Nakadambev for 4th place as LeVay and Milwane go side by side. Morris is starting to get subsumed by this chasing pack. Up the inside there goes Robert Ridgway, but Broomhead tries going deep at Lacombe, has to take to the runoff area. He's going to have to serve a slowdown, and that's going to be a massive penalty for our series admin. He's going to fall outside of that fight.
Yeah, that's definitely not what he wanted to do, but don't get me wrong, though. He's still there. He's with the pack, and indeed the car is intact. I think it's an out with Graham Lovan as well. He's dropped back. Cairo Enns has dropped back as well. Poor Cairo joins for the first time, and for lack of better words, he's been eating it. As I see somebody in the sand there, further back, there's Buchanan. Fair to say that his car is indeed brown bread. What happened to Graham Lovan and indeed Cairo Enns for the 248 and the 332?
Yeah, okay, well, we're going to try and grab a replay of that one in due course, but the field for the moment settling into single file around lap 1, as it looks like Clay Morris is continuing to push hard here. I mean, he's got a huge points buffer. He can afford to be aggressive and get away with it, but you still got to try and preserve as many points as you can. It looks like everyone getting out of it in Stavolo, just grabbing the gravel. It's very easy to do around this place. Nakad and Bev trying on Keenan Harris. They were fighting hard last race, but looks like Harris is not willing to let Nakad and Bev through easily. Up to the braking zone for the bus stop. Harris is going to go for it on Robert Ridgway, but loses momentum in the middle of the corner. Nakad and Bev gets up the inside of him. Wheel-to-wheel contact, and Keenan Harris is sent outside the circuit as he rejoins, makes contact with Michael Broomhead.
Yeah, that had an essence of single-screen monitor there, Reese. I had a feeling he did not know he was there, but it looks like Keenan Harris and Michael Broomhead are still indeed going at it. Certainly the elbows are out, and right behind him, Cedric O'Hine could potentially capitalize on this if these two do indeed come to blows.
They made contact on the way into La Source as well. That's why I yelped. Goodness me, things are looking pretty leery between these two, but Broomhead going to stick in the slipstream for the moment, maybe even give him a bit of a bump draft, which usually isn't advisable in open wheelers, but I'm sure it can be done. Into the braking zone once again. Swindell's and McLean trade spots. So do Girard and Benvalid. There's fighting going on back there for the 7th place on back as Broomhead protects from Cedric O'Hine, and Keenan Harris has, oh dear, he's stopped.
That's definitely not what we were expecting, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, you say that these cars are generally not supportive of bump draft. There's a driver I'm thinking of who will bump draft anything with wheels, ladies and gentlemen. If you've seen Pit Road Productions before, you're thinking of Sammy Hendricks. Certainly, that man I will happily give that title to. As it looks like the Lima Racing fellas currently in formation now. Cedric O'Hine, he's there in P9. John Benvalid right behind him in P10. Scarali, though, looking to try and break up the two Lima Racing machines.
I just reviewed what happened to Harris. It didn't look like it was anything bad necessarily. Potentially, maybe he had too much damage. I didn't see a mechanical black flag for him or anything. That's a bit of a mystery. So either way, Harris is out, and that's going to leave these guys to fight tooth and nail for 7th on back. This stretches all the way down to Harlan Goulbourne in P14. Good news for Zach Buchanan and Cairo Enns. They had trouble on the first lap. They have both managed to come out of the pits again after a tow, and here comes the moves. John Benvalid trying his best to defend from Scarali, but in comes Clovis Girard saying, thank you very much. You're going to be focusing on that guy. I'm just going to walk through the open door.
I gotta admit, that was a pretty ballsy move there from Girard, and it's fair to say it looks like Benvalid is indeed fighting back. They're going to go side by side through turn 1. Benvalid really close on the inside. Scarali looking to make a piece of the action as well. Certainly, this is the biggest spot you want to get in single file, as it looks like they're going to try and force it free wide through Rouge. As awesome that would be, I would strongly not suggest it, but it would be great entertainment for us here in the booth. As Robert Coley taking a very scenic line there, I'm hoping that doesn't get him a slowdown.
Yeah, well, it may well do. It can be a bit of a mystery how all of that works in that section of the circuit. Cedric O'Hine passes Alex McLean in the foreground there as Benvalid continues to try and get free of Scarali, Girard, Covey and Goulbourne. Robert was not able to get a good finish in race 1, so now he is focusing hard on just trying to get the result here in race 2. Lucky 13th at the moment. He would want to improve on that, but it seems like he's having trouble with his front end.
Yeah, it just look like there's maybe a little bit of damage on that front nose cone. It could just be a little bit of wear. I don't know if you could see it as well there, Reese, but certainly it can. Oops.
What happened? Oh,
Harlan
Goulbourne on the wall.
Yeah, got a little bit close there, and that might be a replay, Joe. Wouldn't mind seeing it from Harlan's point of view, that one. Definitely a little bit of contact there, and pretty much just tried to leapfrog, and yeah, it's fair to say it definitely backfired.
Yeah, it looks like a very unfortunate coming together between Harlan Goulbourne and Robert Covey. It was on the run down to Pouon. This is the onboard from Goulbourne. It just looks like they banged wheels and Goulbourne rode up over the back of Covey. It didn't look like they were going to make that kind of contact, but I suppose network latency had something to do with that. Oh well, that's going to round things off for that little bit of drama. Benvalid continuing to just jam his nose in wherever he feels like making a pass. I mean, I understand. I like the aggression. It certainly is entertaining, but I don't think it's benefiting him in the long run here.
It's fair to say there's definitely a bit of spice in the kitchen tonight, and it's making for some great entertaining racing. I honestly do wish I'd got to drive this round, as it looks like Scarelli now going side by side with Richard Swindells as they make their way down towards Eau Rouge. Clovis Girard and John Bemblin very much in pursuit as well.
Yeah, so O'Hyan and McLean, they'll continue fighting up the top, but look at what's going on behind them. This is very entertaining between Swindells, Scarelli, Bemblin, and Girard. Man, where do you even find a way through at the middle of the Kemmel Straight? They are 3 wide with, hello. Trying around the outside was O'Hyan, but McLean will hold strong. This is fantastic. I'm loving every second of this.
Yeah, Clovis Girard there able to steal a sneaky position there away from Richard Swindells at the same time. Got to say, he's definitely he's been a little bit of a pink panther this evening there, Reese. He's just putting his nose in, having the occasional little bit of action there, and just waltzing away at his own good pace.
It's working out all right. Well,
oh dear.
That's my impression of a clarinet. Anyway, side by side for O'Hyan and McLean on the way into Fagnes. And you know what? That little bit of side by side has helped Tyler Scarelli and John Benvalid. They're going to continue to jet up to the back of these guys in the battle for P7. Things are spread out a bit out the front once again. LeVay leading by 0.3 of a second from Milwain. Morris and Ridgway are all by themselves. Then it's Broomhead and Nikardenbev fighting for 5th. Then these guys on board with McLean as he picks up the slipstream. Tyler Scarelli, meanwhile, who indeed was the driver who won that 3-wide fight into Lacombe on the previous lap. McLean, no, locks the rears. That's so easy to do at that section of the circuit. And unfortunately, that's going to put him down to 13th and way behind Robert Covey.
Yeah, hopefully he can find a little bit more pace out of that car and could potentially regain to the back of this packet. It's Clovis Girard looking to try and make another move now. Up past John Bemblin.
So pick up the slipstream through La Source and the run down to Eau Rouge, then deal with the aero instability up the hill, try and keep the momentum up, and then you can make the move. It looks like Nikardenbev and Broomhead are going to trade spots. Scarelli and O'Hyan also trading spots up the front there. O'Hyan thinking, maybe there's an opportunity for me to race harder at Lacombe. Gets on the racing line, but looks like that's going to fall into the hands of Scarelli for now.
It's certainly some really good fights going on. I do wonder if the two Lima racing cars can get together and potentially work as a team here. Certainly you can indeed use your teammates as an advantage there, but right now they're spread out. They got the likes of 27 of Cedric O'Hyan right between them. And don't get me wrong, both of these guys, they'll still fight. Don't get me wrong, they're teammates, but they will still fight in the sim, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly some good battles here, but you see, keep an eye on Alex McLean as well. He is just about hanging on to the back of this pack for P13.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, it's looking like, well, McLean's ultimate pace is it's actually interesting. McLean doesn't have a valid lap faster than Robert Covey at the moment, though it's clear that he would be able to get around the track a little bit quicker in the current state of the cars. So, yeah, I got to wait and see if McLean will try and get the pace back up. O'Hyan, meanwhile, has lost touch with Scarelli through the twisties, and we move up back to the battle for the lead. Ozzy Milwain and Jamie LeVay, they are pressuring hard as they come up on 2 laps to go here in the second sprint. The feature race will be coming up very shortly, and we have to remember that there's going to be a pit stop in that race. It's also going to be longer in length, so there's a lot for the drivers to prepare for there. And we got to be careful of those curbs too, Zippy. They can get quite slippery, and especially if you've only driven the early 2010 scan of Spa, you can be caught by surprise at how big some of these curbs are on the current version.
Yeah, certainly the updates can indeed change the dynamic a little bit here of the track. You see LeVay pretty much parking that car straight in the middle. He's trying to position it so Mill Wayne cannot get a good run. You see Clay Morris there, 2.2 seconds back. It looks a lot closer there, but right now LeVay has been able to hold on against the number 14 car. Both of these drivers struggling to pull the car out of the corners a little bit there. We saw LeVay get a little bit of a slide there on the exit of the final chicane, and then Mill Wayne having one round turn one as well. Both of these drivers really pushing the car, testing the limits of grip there, as we see a little bit of puff of smoke there popping up there at the front of the grid.
Yeah, a tiny bit of smoke, but looks like it hasn't really involved anyone for the moment. LeVay is having a great run today, isn't he? Coming off the back of winning the first race here and also claiming pole position. He has come to Spa well prepared, and you know, he does have at least one driver battling with him in both races so far, but he's been able to come off well. He just needs to keep it consistent for one more lap after this. Mill Wayne will struggle to find his way past.
Yeah, certainly LeVay is definitely no slouch. His I rating about 9 points short of the magical 5K barrier, ladies and gentlemen. So it's fair to say he is a potent force to be reckoned with. His BiS stats, though, he's got 3 wins, 25 starts, and he is indeed a multimatic engineer. So don't get me wrong, he doesn't just sim race, ladies and gentlemen. He understands the engineering involved in making some of these cars go incredibly fast.
Yes, Multimatic, of course, active in prototype racing in North America, and also the chassis builder for a couple of the LMDH / hypercar / GTP machines contracted. So yeah, Jamie LeVay obviously has some experience with all of that. A really cool job indeed, as Christian Hill said to us behind the scenes. Actually, as the final lap begins, by the way, my first stint at uni was motorsport engineering. I thought that I could potentially do the job that LeVay and his cohorts do, but evidently my maths skill isn't high enough for that. It is high enough to know that Mill Wayne is now in the lead on the way into the braking zone for Lacombe, and he takes the lead in style.
But don't get me wrong, Reese, honestly, I believe you could do it. You definitely could. But don't get me wrong, I'm a little relieved that you haven't, because certainly Pit Road Productions would indeed be at a loss without you. And indeed, that is exactly the feeling that Jamie LeVay is having right now. He is at a loss as Ozzy Mill Wayne has managed to sneak his way up into the front. But you got to wonder, was that the right time to pass? Certainly, they still got to go through Blanchimont and then the final chicane. Is this going to be what's actually going to cost him the race win at the end of this? Will LeVay make a move in the last stages of this race?
A little bit wide in Huon as well. It's easy to get understeer through there. It's a high commitment corner. But yeah, LeVay is hanging back for the moment, and I think he is gearing up for exactly what you're talking about, Zippy. As long as you're within about a second to a second and a half of the car in front, you will get the full benefit of the slipstream. So, a little bit of wheel dipped into the gravel as well. This is where the run begins.
Yeah, certainly, we're going to see this move play out very shortly. We're going to see, can Mill Wayne defend it, as it looks like LeVay's going to try and go along side by side through Blanchimont. Definitely is a move. You got to make sure you definitely don't tangle, though. Can he carry the exit speed? But by doing so, it's going to put him on the inside for the first corner of that chicane. This has been a well-executed technique here. Is he going to be enough? Mill Wayne looking to try and close the door, and it looks like he's just managed to get the edge there, but LeVay's going to get the exit speed. Mill Wayne there on the defensive, and I got to say, incredibly well defended. Mill Wayne takes the win, but I've got to say, LeVay, a very valiant effort. Clay Morris comes across the line in third. Let's head back very quickly to P10, though, because it looks like O'Hyan, Swindells, and Gerard are still in a battle as they make their way towards the line.
Yes, so Nakadambev will beat Broomhead and Scarali there, and Alex McLean will beat Cedric O'Hyan to the line for the last 2 positions in the top 10. Swindells and Gerard got pretty close together. And that just leaves Keenan Harris and Cairo Enns to take the finish there. Well, the Lima Racing cars will be happy with a double top 10 there, 8th and 10th for Ben Belid and O'Hyan respectively. And that is going to round off the second of our 3 races here today. We got to remember as well that the session is going to... I believe there's going to be an invert on our way through this third race. Yes, top 10 invert. So, all right. Let's get ready for this one, Zippy. We should probably go through the results first.
That's not a bad idea, Reese. Indeed. Let's have a quick look at these wonderful results. Enjoying the newly remodeled Spa there, ladies and gentlemen. As here we go, results from Sprint 2. Aussie Milwain took the lead by just about 135 thousandths of a second, or about a tenth of a second, ladies and gentlemen. Incredibly close battle. Clay Morris about another 2 seconds behind in third. Ridgway, fantastic result there, Robert. He's there in P4, but starting to kind of bet in fifth. Broomhead once again staying in sixth. He really is Mr. Consistency this evening, with Tyler Scarelli also for Doppler Britannia iSports there in seventh. John Benvalid, he took P8 with Alex McLean in ninth, and another lean racing driver there closing out the top 10 of Cedric O'Hyan.
Swindells finishes in 11th place, 3/10 ahead of Clovis Girard. Robert Covey, Keenan Harris, and Cairo Enzi are last finishers on the lead lap. Buchanan and Goulburn were able to make their way back out there, albeit 2 and 3 laps down. Graham Lobbin, unfortunately, retiring from the race there. So not ideal for car 248. And it looks like he will have some trouble going forward as well, starting from the very back of the grid. But for the moment, Zippy, we are in warm-up. That gives us an opportunity to sit and reflect.
Oh, I do try not to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I think on this evening, I think if we're going to take the time and reflect a bit, let's think about actually sim racing as well, and some of the perks of sim racing. So, don't get me wrong, we all love to have a good time, put our foot down when behind a car or behind a motorbike or something, but certainly choose your places wisely, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly in my local area, we did indeed have somebody who didn't make that choice, and I think it's fair to say they've checked out. And, it just sort of, gives you a little bit of a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly if you do want to go fast, you do want to have fun, talk to your local motorsporting organisations, do some autocross, do some rallycross, go do some lapping, do some time attack, and honestly, it's a hell of a lot safer. And it's a lot more fun as well. You haven't got to worry about the police pulling you over, or indeed, if things do go wrong, the response time is a lot better. A little bit of a sobering message, perhaps, but certainly a very valid one. And honestly, myself, I'd love to get behind the wheel of a race car and, enjoy that, but I'm a little bit of a princess in the nicest of ways, and I like air conditioning, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to do that, by all means, get a sim rig, get a fan on you, and even if you do get it wrong, you can't really hurt yourself in a sim rig, and if you do, you've really got to be trying hard.
Yeah, or running your direct drive rim at maximum force feedback and running straight into the wall at La Source. That is a potential risk breaker right there. But I'm wondering if, speaking of breaking things, Clay Morris's momentum has been broken this round. He has gone the whole night without winning a race so far, and I get the feeling maybe he's built up enough of a championship lead that he's just taking it easy for the last few rounds. But I don't know. I'm not sure why Clay Morris isn't fighting up the front like he usually is.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean, the first couple of rounds, he took to the car like a duck to water. Maybe it's not that he's got any worse. It's maybe that the other guys have indeed got a lot better. They've got a bit more seat time in the car. They've got a little bit more comfortable. We know Clay Morris is indeed a very potent driver. He is very happy with the Formula 3. But now the other guys, they've obviously got more experience. Don't get me wrong, he has as well. But that curb, that gap has potentially shrunk a little bit now. And he's finding that he's got a little bit more competition here on the horizon.
Yeah, a lot of competition indeed. It sets things up, interestingly, for the 2 series that we have coming up. 2 of the 3 series that BiS has coming up. We've got Radical Academy, we've got BiS F1600, and we've got Radical Cup Canada as well on the cards for the final few months of the year, and finishing their seasons in early 2026. So a lot more on the horizon for BiS.
Yeah, certainly. It does look like we're going to have a lot more information for you guys about that coming up a little bit later on. It's not going to be today, but trust us, we are working on something very cool. There may even be a 4th. Hang on a second here. Yeah, a 4th sim to reality experience coming to not just Pit Road Productions, but to BiS as well. If you want to find out about that, I think the best thing to do is join the BiS Discord. Reese, I'm so sorry. Christian, if you could do the honors, you know exactly what I'm looking for. You don't need to put it over my face or indeed Reese's, but have a look at this QR code our lovely director is going to put up for you. So subtle hint there. We'll get that one. Thank you very much, Christian. If you scan that with your phone, magic happens. It's way smarter than me, but it's kind of like a checkout barcode, but much cooler, and it isn't going to cost you $19.95 and feel like you got robbed by the grocery store. It's going to open the door to opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly BiS does pride themselves on not just good racing series, but indeed sim to reality experiences. And well, I mean, look at the grid that we've got today. Zach Buchanan, he's previously had that experience. Ozzy Milwane, he's had that experience as well. Both of these drivers getting to drive a Radical. And then not only that, I don't know if I can mention it yet, but certainly there are some real life Radical drivers in the BiS leagues, and I have a strong feeling that we may be able to get hold of a couple of perks through doing that, not just with having the BiS and Pit Road Productions logo on their cars, which we are very grateful. That's Lima Racing, ladies and gentlemen, who do that for us. But certainly, if you want to find out more about that, there is only one place to do it. It's here on Pit Road Productions and indeed in that BiS Discord. Make sure you get involved in that, and we're looking forward to seeing you come the fall and the winter indeed.
Indeed, and if you're interested in joining up a bit early for some F3 action, don't forget we've still got one round of this season to go at Jerez in 2 weeks' time. So if you're able to, we'd love to have you on board. It is time for the final race of the night. Top 10 invert is active, and we have a pit stop coming up as well. Cedric O'Hyan is going to grab first place on the grid with Alex McLean in second. We have Benvalid and Scarali on row number 2. And then in row number 3, Michael Broomhead and Assad Nikardembev. Moving back, we have Robert Ridgway and Clay Morris lining up on the 4th row. And this is going to be an interesting ride for the drivers at the back end of the top 10 here. LeVay and Milwane will round it out. How many positions will they likely gain on the first lap?
Yes, we have a look there at P11. It's going to be Richard Swindell alongside Clovis Gerard. Very lucky to say I have met this guy. He's an absolute legend. Alongside, further back, in P13, we got our bearded friend himself, Robert Covey. Sadly, couldn't get to see him when he was in the area. But Keenan Harris is going to be alongside him in P14 as we have a look at 15. Cairo ends now. He's somebody to keep an eye on. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy can drive. I can tell you that much. Zach Buchanan, he's going to be alongside. So he's going to have some very strong competition there in P16. Harlan Goulburn, he's there in 17th with Graham Lobham in 18th, and that's pretty much going to close out our grid as Mauricio Parada not making an appearance in the race sessions.
Yeah, not ideal for Parada. This is going to be a no points round for him. Well, we'll see though. So now we just sit for the last 40 seconds of this grid timer as everyone files onto the grid. Start is going to be just as important in this one as others, but I think what the drivers are going to be eyeing in on for this round, for this race, sorry, is keeping themselves in the slipstream, saving a bit of fuel, trying to stretch out their stint, because they are going to have to take a splash of fuel to get to the end here, and it's a long circuit at Spa with lots of long straights and hard straight line speed, so a lot of pedal usage, a lot of fuel usage around here, and if you miss your pit lap, you are going to have to wait a bit to come back around to it. Timer on 0. Let's get ready for the start here. Round things up. The 4-cylinder engines sing as they dump the clutches, and away we go. And it's a pretty good start from O'Hyan and McLean up the front of the field there. Benvalid immediately going to be on the attack here, or on the defense rather, trying on the inside there. And Assad Nikardembev makes his way around Broomhead, gets on the power very nicely.
Yeah, Nikardembev already up 2 spots. Buchanan further back, he's up 3 spots as well. Oh dear, Cairo ends with a meatball flag. That poor guy has done nothing but really eat meatballs all night. But so far, you see Alex McLean already getting into a fight there, as is Nikardembev and John Benvalid. Now, you have to wonder, can these two Lima racing machines, can they get along side by side and indeed work together to try and preserve each other, staying on the podium, as Nikardembev looking for a place to go, and the door very firmly shut there by John Benvalid in the number 8.
Yeah, Benvalid, oh God, Jesus. That's a big slide there for Bev. That'll put him all the way back to 11th, now down to 13th, potentially 14th as Harris, Covey and Buchanan find their way past him. Wow, bit of a chaotic first lap there for Asad Bev.
I can hear there is something cooking in the kitchen here, and yep, no, Christian, we do know poor old Cairo, he has indeed picked up another meatball flag, but as we have a look right now, the top 14 all within 8/10 of a second, ladies and gentlemen. This very much a fight early on.
Hard fighting indeed, but this is going to be, it's going to be difficult to get a chance to show him because the action is going off all through this field here. Ohio and Benvalid are leading 1 and 2 for Lima Racing, but Broomhead and Scarali from Britannia iSports will keep the momentum up and try and split the two Lima Racing cars here. Broomhead gets alongside Benvalid through Blanchimont, and he might even try a move at the chicane here. He has to get back on the racetrack before the grass, though, gets boxed in by Cedric O'Hyan, and Benvalid will keep the outside line around the second last corner. Broomhead losing grip in the middle of the corner. All of his momentum is dashed.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love Michael Broomhead as much as anybody really would, which I don't know if that's really selling it as awesome as Michael Broomhead is, but I am so excited because that is exactly the team kind of tactics I want to see. Brilliantly played there by the Lima Racing team. O'Hyan and Benvalid, they literally shut the door on him, nowhere for him to go, and you know what? Look at it right now. Lima Racing, for the first time ever in BiS history, ladies and gentlemen, they are leading first and second in BiS.
Yeah, this is great for Lima Racing. I think this is one of the first times we've seen them fully up the front there. But it looks like the party will be ruined by Tyler Scarali, who slipstreams past Benvalid and takes the position at Lacombe. Now Broomhead has managed to find his way back. Oh, God! Oh, Jesus Christ! What? Okay. Plot twist. That was Scarali. Scarali that spun. Yeah, that was crazy. Okay, let's get a replay of that queued up right away, because there were multiple aspects to that incident. Aussie Mill Wayne getting sent airborne by that. So it happened with Scarali and Benvalid. And was there contact? Yes, there was. Scarali a little bit slow through the corner. Benvalid keeping his nose in it. And, well, unfortunately, there wasn't much anyone behind could do. Broomhead first on the scene there, making contact. Then there was contact with Ridgeway. And then in comes Aussie Mill Wayne.
That was beautiful. I'm sorry. Yeah, Mill Wayne is in the air. Can we get a view, actually, from Scarali's cockpit view and then Mill Wayne's cockpit view? Here we go.
Mill Wayne first, and well, you can see how the Red Sea parts to reveal a giant sea monster for Aussie Mill Wayne. And Tyler Scarali, well, this is how things started off. Contact from Benvalid right there, and around he goes. There's Broomhead, and, well, there's Mill Wayne.
Honestly, that thing had more airtime than Nike at that point.
Wow. Oh, Scarali's missed the pits, and he hasn't got his rear wing either, so this is not going to be a fun lap for you, Tyler, sorry to say. So that spread things out a little bit. It's resulted in a massive gain of positions for Ridgeway, Morris, and LeVay. They are all up 5 positions, and Zach Buchanan is right behind them too, up 11 places. They need to take care here. They got a pit stop coming up. You don't have to fight so hard in the opening laps, but Clay Morris will get the inside line, and he's going to very wisely back out of it there. He's going to allow Ridgeway to take the corners and keep the momentum up for all of them, because all of that has benefited Ohio, and he leads by 2.7 seconds.
Don't get me wrong, as commentators, we are not supposed to have favourites, but I got nothing but love for this man. Come on, Cedric, I would love to see you get a win, and I'm going to leave it at that, because certainly as soon as I mentioned the Lima Racing 1-2, poor old John, he may have been involved in a minor incident. I can't even understand that. A huge, colossal incident which, don't get me wrong, was broadcasting bliss, but definitely not what you want to see in a league race.
No, certainly not. Well, now the battle assumes once again Jamie LeVay, who won the first 2 races running tonight. No, actually, one race won, second in race 2. He's going to try and get back onto the podium again here for the 3rd and final race of the night. Picks up the slipstream from Clay Morris and has the inside line for Blanchimont. Keep an eye out for Zach Buchanan there as well. He is right in it. And Clay Morris just about running over the curbs at Blanchimont there. They are pushing so hard in that section of the circuit. It looks like and feels like an easy enough turn in a Formula 3, but when you're side by side with someone, it is mighty hard.
Yeah, it definitely is, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, you know, what do? You got to try and decide when to make that pass. And certainly, you know, Spa is probably the biggest track where, don't get me wrong, you can try and make a pass in the turn 1, but you've really got to think about it strategically. It's a race where there is more going on than just a race in front of you. You've got to think about the big picture. And then, don't get me wrong, with such good long straights there, I do wonder just how aggressively I would want to pass, because the draft could be incredibly valuable here. Certainly, if you're on the edge of being able to complete that 1 extra lap, that could be huge in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that could certainly be massive. Here comes Morris up the inside, and we'll have Zach Buchanan making up another place here. 12 spots gained, a big turnaround from race 2 for the number 40.
Absolutely fantastic stuff here. Looks like Buchanan is doing very well so far, up 12 positions. Actually, a lot of drivers currently up there. Scarelli, definitely not the night he was looking for. Milwain has left the session. Certainly understandable. He's potentially trying to get his bags out of baggage claim at that point. Certainly, he definitely took flight, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful flight it was. It was certainly, it had the reliability of Air Canada, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly a choke to some of the people here on the northern side of North America will definitely enjoy it a little bit more. But right now, Clay Morris looking to try and find his way back up to the podium.
Yeah, Morris needs to grab another podium out of this one. He's finished 3rd in both races thus far tonight. Currently sitting 5th. I think it might have to come down to strategy. Remember, pit stop time will be coming up pretty soon. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pit any time from now and get home, but I think the guys up the front are going to try and outlast each other for the moment. Up goes the inside for Clay Morris at Blanchimont. Zach Buchanan will try and fight back. Has the racing line with a bit more rubber on it, does the number 40, but Morris defends the position very nicely. Such a difficult corner, and, well, that's going to be Buchanan making his way into the pits. One of the first drivers outside of those involved in the big crash earlier to do so.
Certainly, you have to wonder as well, if you pit out of a draft, I mean, it could cost you incredibly on the way out. The whole time you've got a car ahead of you, they are punching an absolutely a Formula 3 shaped hole in the air for you, and that can really create some really good fuel savings. Now, don't get me wrong, when you use the fuel calculator here in iRacing, that can it will keep in mind what you use per lap. Then if all of a sudden you go out and you're in clean air, you could very quickly find that you're having a little bit of a shortage on the fuel department. As I say that, though, looks like Jamie LeVay making a pass here on Robert Ridgway.
Up into 2nd spot. Well done for Jamie LeVay. And now, well, I guess for him, it's a question of, you know, having the other drivers out of the picture. They've already come into the pits, have the likes of Zach Buchanan and actually, hang on a minute. Buchanan has been in the pits for a long time there. He hasn't come out. I get the feeling there's been a big problem for the number 40. I thought that it was a routine stop there for Zach Buchanan, but evidently not.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it may could have been as simple as, you know, accidentally took tyres and that was it. You know, he knew his race was compromised. We see Jamie LeVay there flirting with the dirt, ladies and gentlemen. Ridgway right behind him. Actually, Ridgway doing very well. He's already had a P4 tonight. I wonder if he can find his way to stay on the podium. But with Clay Morris right behind him, that is indeed going to be a challenge, as Morris about 1/10 of a second behind now as they're making their way down towards Blanchimont.
Here we go then. Morris in the slipstream. Can he get onto the podium? How hard is Robert Ridgway going to fight this? Are any of these guys going to pull into the pits on this lap? This is the big question. And the braking zone for Clay Morris will result in no further gains of position, and neither of them come into the pit lane. It looks like all these guys are just waiting.
Yeah, certainly if I was in this top 5 pack right now in the car, I'm being able to catch just onto the back of that there. You can see the 230 machine rocking Pit Road Productions on that front nose code. Thank you very much, Assad. But if I was one of these top 5, honestly, I'd be looking to try and save some fuel right now. Depending on who I was, Clay Morris, I think he's going to have to be aggressive there. His competition realistically is Jamie LeVay. He's going to be the one that he is most threatened by and looking to make his way by. But don't get me wrong, Ridgway is in the way of that, and certainly fair play to Robert Ridgway. You know, the guy's definitely no slouch. As I say that, I do stand corrected. Ridgway's packing way more punch than I realized. 5,893 IR. Ladies and gentlemen, that man knows how to drive.
Yeah, this is actually quite a good race for Ridgway. He's been looking for a proper result for the majority of the season, and you know, after starting 11th for race 1, I thought he wasn't going to be a factor tonight, but turns out he is. He's taken advantage of all the happenings and goings on around here, and could be looking at a podium here tonight. LeVay and O'Hyan catching up to each other ahead of him will definitely slow each other up and allow him another chance.
Yeah, certainly, don't get me wrong, Cedric has been able to lead this entire race so far. We're about 6 laps in, we're about halfway in, ladies and gentlemen. But you have got to wonder as well, how hard is Cedric going to fight? Is he going to try and hold off LeVay at all costs, or is he going to go, you know what, I know this guy quick, I know this guy's quick, I know this guy's potent. Am I going to be strategically better served to let him get ahead, tuck in, and potentially try and save some fuel, try and stay on his rear wing? Or is it going to be one of those scenarios where if he gets by, it just opens an onslaught of passes? You got to really try and size it up. It looks like LeVay's trying to make a move now as they head round Blanchimont.
Up the inside, and LeVay to the lead. Braking zone coming up though. O'Hyan might have a chance to fight back here. How hard does he push it? Not as hard as the two behind. Clay Morris gets up the inside of Ridgway, and they're side by side still through the chicane as O'Hyan makes his way into the pit lane. The battle's continuing down to turn 1. It looks like Clay Morris has managed to work his way past Robert Ridgway, and the move is finally made.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a really good strategy there by O'Hyan. He certainly he weighed up the pros and cons and said, you know what, I don't think I really want to be in this fight, and ducked out of it. Fair play to him. But it looks like we've got another battle happening here with another one of the leading racing drivers. Cairo Ends and John Bembley going at it side by side here. As I say that, Cairo Ends pulled away as Bembley comes to the pits. Well, that's the end of that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, that is the end of it indeed. So
Ridgway pits.
Yeah, but he's escaped out of the car.
Oh, that's no good.
I'm not sure what's happened there. Has Ridgway not set up his stop? What's happened?
I wonder if he got caught for an unsafe pit entry. Certainly, Reese, that is a personal favourite of yours, and indeed mine, but for very different reasons.
No black flag for Ridgway. So that's another mystery.
Well, the good news is the whole time we've been trying to work out what exactly was going on. Some good time here for good screen time here for our friend Clovis Gerard. But let's try and take a quick peek here. Further up, actually, it looks like Clay Morris and Sardana Karnenbev are fighting over P2.
Yes, the next fight indeed, and the only two cars on track within a second of each other at the moment. Young Assad has certainly gotten the results where he's needed to in the past, but he's had a bit of a tough one here at Spa. Damage in race 1 and struggling a bit further in race 2 up to P5. But Zippy, I understand that we've got Zach Buchanan in here with us for some words.
Yeah, Zach, it's definitely been a night of mixed fortunes for yourself. I did just see your update, but did you want to tell everybody here watching the show what exactly happened to the number 40 car in this main feature race?
I was running on a pretty good race.
Oh dear. Hold that thought there, Zach. Who's just gone around there?
Oh dear. I'm not sure, Zippy.
It's Clay Morris.
Oh,
Morris
no!
has gone around the Carter best been able to get the better of him. I'm sorry, Zach. Stay with us, buddy. We will get to you. But what on earth happened there? Clay Morris, the championship leader, has just gone around in turn 1.
He lost the rear on the way in.
Well, we are definitely going to have to check a replay of that. Here you go. Reese, do the honour, sir.
All right, so coming into turn 1, he didn't... Well, maybe he caught the grass a little bit. But you could tell he was fighting the rear end all the way to the apex, and when it came time to commit, there just wasn't enough grip in those rear tyres, and around he went.
Well, definitely not the news that he was looking for, but able to hold on to that P3. Zach, I do apologise, sir. I can't help it if all of a sudden that appears. You were going to tell us very quickly what's been happening here with the number 40 in this main feature race.
I was running a pretty good race, had a chance to make an undercut attempt, try to get in the pits early, get some clean air, and just completely blew over the pit entry line on a black flag. So, story of my night, it's been a ton of self-inflicted mistakes, making stuff just like Clay just did. The braking in the straight braking zones is so tough tonight, and like the track is so fast, there's so little margin for error. So the smallest mistakes really can just ruin your race like that.
Well, certainly Spa is one of the classic favourites here. Certainly, it's on my Princess-approved track list. But for the final round, for the next round even, we are going to head over to Jerez, I believe is the correct way of saying it. How do you feel about that particular venue there, Zach?
I can't say I've raced it that much because you don't see it pop up too much. But I really like driving that track. I think it's going to put on a good race. I think. For those who haven't raced it before, haven't watched a race there before, I think it's going to be a fun one, for sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, certainly a little bit unlucky there for the number 40 of Zach Buchanan, but we will wish him the best of luck before we see him again next week, in 2 weeks' time at Jerez. Zach, thanks very much for popping in.
Thank you, guys, as always.
All right, well, Clay Morris comes into the pit lane to serve his pit stop after his spin, and that's going to allow him to exit down in 6th place, it looks like. Actually 5th, depending on if Gerard can find his way past. There he goes, emerging behind Keenan Harris and Cedric O'Hyan. Through the pit cycle, Jamie LeVay has managed to take the lead conclusively, and Asadna Kardenbev has had a great run, hasn't he? Up to 2nd place now.
Yeah, certainly he's definitely been having a good run as well. But right now the hard charger is indeed Keenan Harris. He's in P13. And by the look of it as well, all of these drivers have indeed made the pit stop. Certainly, I am enjoying trying to multitask, ladies and gentlemen, and we all know how well I can do that. But we do have Robert Ridgway waiting in the wings. Reese, do you want to catch up with the driver of the number 11 car, I believe?
All right, let's bring him in. Robert Ridgway is with us now, and I hear that you had an unfortunate crash of the sim when you came into the pits, mate.
Oh, it was after a Rouge, so I don't know what happened to my car afterwards,
Really?
but it was a good race. I think Cedric pitted, and then Lavelle was first.
Right, okay. Well, that's a real shame, Robert, because you were having a good time there for the moment. You were one of the drivers in contention for a podium, and you were very lucky to work your way through that big crash at Lacombe.
Oh yeah, I was definitely going to win the race. You know, if the game didn't crash. So, you know, that's a 100% thing, right? And it wasn't me that failed; it was the software. So I'll take it. That's how I'll take all the love from it. That was a good race. That was so much fun. That was a good final race of the season.
You're not going to be at Jerez next time?
Oh yeah, there's one more. Sorry.
Yes.
I didn't do any practice for this race. My first laps were it just joined in with like 10-15 minutes of practice left. But it's a great car track combo. I was having a blast out here, starting to get up to speed. And man, Assad is a demon. He's a little tiny toddler that chases you down with insane pace. And it was fun racing with him, man. I really enjoyed it.
yeah, it looked like you guys were having a great fight indeed. And having battled against Nakatambev on track myself, I can agree with everything you say there. He is a very tough customer. But, well, coming up to the conclusion of the season, Robert, I guess you're just hoping, first off at Jerez, that your software is kind to you and that you're able to get some good points finishes, maybe a couple of top 10s once again.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever had a crash in a league race before, or really any official. So, who knows what it was? I think I got a crash report. I can send Iris and be like, "What's going on?" Well, yeah, Jerez. I always say Jerez because I'm from Texas and I can't read good, but that track is lovely. Ran it in SFL not too long ago, and me and the homies were having fun dominating. So that'll be a fun one. It's a really great track, like for battling. There's so many places to go. You can go side by side all the way through. Like you can pretty much go side by side the whole track if you'd like.
A lot of hype for Jerez from the drivers and from us here at Pit Road Productions as well. More evidence that if you're out there watching and you want to have a run, then make sure to scan the QR code and join up. Thanks for joining us, Robert Ridgway, and yeah, commiserations. Best of luck for the next round.
Yes, sir. You boys be good. Thanks for the broadcast.
We'll do our best. That's Robert Ridgway there in the number 11 machine. One of a steadily growing retirements list from this race, which includes some heavy hitters like Buchanan and Milwain. So that's just going to leave Jamie Levain out. 2.5 seconds in the lead, or near enough. And Asad Nakatambev trying desperately to gain something on this next lap here. So 2:11.3 for Levain on the last lap, then Asad Nakatambev with a 2:11.4, so it looks like the gap has stabilised a little bit. Here's Cairo Enns, meanwhile, who has had a good turnaround. He was far away from that Lacombe crash, Zippy, and it's benefited him by gaining 6 positions.
Certainly, it's good to see Cairo here in BIS. Certainly, I think he's just kind of getting settled in. Certainly, he knows that we've got all these fun series coming over in the fall and indeed the winter season. Certainly, got to hand it to him as well. He's put a good bit of effort there into his camera set. You see, he's got a backdrop behind him. Camera angle's good. Fair play to him. This man, I'm impressed. Great to see him on camera here for first time here, debut season, driver cam as well. Attaboy Cairo in the 3:32.
Yeah, this is see how the lap goes here. Flat out through Eau Rouge and up Radillon. It's a gentle, easy curve when you're on your own in a Formula 3. Not so much when you're in a battle. And then the highest speed part of this circuit reaching all the way up to 250 kilometers per hour before you get into the braking zone for Lacombe, this beautiful sweeping left-hander.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful track is Spa, and I got to admit, I am a little sour on this one, Reese. I definitely think I would have had a lot of fun being here in this race. I don't know if I would have got a top 10, but I certainly would have given it my best effort here. Certainly, a lot of these drivers a lot quicker than me, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly Formula 3. Not a car that I really drive, but I would have definitely loved to give it a good row. Meantime, while I've been having a couple of interviews here, Cedric Hein has sadly dropped down to 5th place, but don't get me wrong, P5 in a strength of field as potent as this is still quite the achievement though. But himself and Alex McLean, about 1.3 seconds between them. Are we going to see a little bit more out of McLean on the last lap though? There's only about 3/10 of a second between them on pace, so it could be incredibly close yet, as we've got about 2 laps left to go.
Yeah, well, actually, it looks like we've just gone on to the final lap. So Jamie Levain is just going to make one more 7-kilometre tour around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps as Keenan Harris takes the fastest lap. It looks like his pace has been working out very nicely indeed. But Clay Morris, Cedric O'Hyan and Alex McLean are within a second of each other, and there could still be something to say about that battle for 4th here on the final lap.
Yeah, certainly there is still battles happening. As I say that, it looks like O'Hyan's actually managed to get closer to Clay Morris all of a sudden. He's pulled off about 0.4 of a second off of Morris. I'm wondering if Morris does indeed have enough fuel. McLean as well, he's got another 0.4 off as well. Are we going to see a freeway fight in the closing stages here at Spa?
This is the question. But LeVay, it seems, has this wrapped up unless there is a mistake in hand, which can be very easy to do here in the middle sector of the circuit. Huon, of course, hard, difficult corner indeed, but there's not much more to say about Jamie LeVay and his sort of mid to late season run here, Zippy. He has managed to come up and get the points where they've needed to be gotten, and if it weren't for Clay Morris's massive lead that he got in the early part of the season, I reckon we'd be seeing a much closer fight if this version of Jamie LeVay was the one we saw at the start of the season.
Yeah, certainly, he's definitely a potent force to be reckoned with. The IndyCar as well, he did very well there, as indeed Clay Morris as well. But right now, let's see if we can get our eyes very shortly. We'll stay with LeVay for the minute. Well, let's celebrate him getting this race win. But I'm going to head straight back to P5 battle soon after, because it looks like Alex McLean looking to try and make a move on Cedric O'Hayan. But credit where credit is due. The 444 car getting ready to take another win here at BiS Formula 3 Championship.
Yeah, across the line, Jamie LeVay is your winner of race 3, and well, with 2 wins on the board and a second, it looks like he is the round winner as well, which is fantastic to see. Asad Nakadenbev finishes in second. What a result for him, and Keenan Harris takes P3. Clay Morris, Cedric O'Hayan, and Alex McLean will drive across the line in that order. And it looks to me like not many other battles out on track at the moment. The pit stops and the crashes separated everybody out. We don't have anybody else within a second. The gaps reaching up and above 15 seconds in places, it seems.
Yeah, certainly Spa as well, with it being such a large track, you can start to get a bit of distance. And we never had a scenario where we saw lap traffic at this one, so certainly another dynamic that could indeed occur at some of the smaller venues as well. Certainly you think of a track like Long Beach as well. You start getting lap traffic there, it can indeed get very, very colourful. But fair play, the 444 car able to get a win here. Certainly that's going to be good news for him in the championship standings. Clay Morris only able to get a P4 in the feature race. Definitely, I do have to wonder if he maybe didn't quite get enough time to practice this week, or indeed the other drivers have really started to come in song with this car, albeit in the penultimate round of the season. Obviously, Jerez being our final round in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, a lot to think about for our contenders coming into the final round of the season, but with everyone now across the line, apart from Richard Swindell's, there we go, he's just crossed the line there, and so the race has gone official there, and Swindell's celebrated in style by immediately slamming his car into the wall. Well, Jamie LeVay, up from 9th to 1st, he takes 2 wins tonight, and that is the round win for him as well. Asad Nakadenbev finishing in 2nd spot ahead of Keenan Harris, who had a great turnaround. He ultimately went up and down the field quite a bit. Clay Morris and Cedric O'Hayan round out your top 5, with Alex McLean and Clovis Girard separated by 1.8 seconds. Scarali, Enns, and Benvalid will round out your top 10.
Yeah, definitely some good points there for Lima Racing. As we have a look at P11, Michael Broomhead himself not finishing in P6 this time. He's there ahead of Robert Covey in P12. Swindell takes 13th with Ridgeway sadly having that crash, that system crash there. He's in P14. Buchanan, we spoke to him a little bit earlier there. He was there in 15th with Milwayne, definitely getting the flight award, ladies and gentlemen. He definitely got some airtime there. He's in 16th with Harlan Goulburn in 17th. Graham Lowen in 18th, and Mauricio Parada not making an appearance all evening.
Yes, would have been nice to see Parada out there, but ultimately that's all she wrote for that one. First off, Zippy, it looks like we got Jamie LeVay in the box.
Well, I gotta say, Jamie, what an absolutely fantastic evening for yourself. Tell us a little bit about how you played out your technique here at Spa.
Yeah, no, definitely a good evening. Nice to see some results come in. I mean, yeah, it was first off a super important qualifying here. The field was super tight. Just a couple tenths could mean a few good spots. So it was all about nailing that lap, and I left it right to the end. Did probably one of my better qualifying laps ever, but left it late. Otherwise, would have been a few spots back. So that was super tight. Managed to get fortunate to break the draft early on in the first heat. Not so fortunate the second heat. Had a really good battle with Ozzy there. A little bit of cat and mouse through the race. I think he was planning that out for a few laps on the last lap, and yeah, fun times going too wide into the final chicane there. Great job by him to ultimately come out on top there. Fun times. And then the feature was all about being patient early in the race. A lot of cat and mouse, just waiting for the time. The draft is pretty strong here, so you can afford to kind of bide your time a little bit, make sure you're well positioned for the two really important straights, and then make sure you have the pace where it counts. Unfortunately, seems like Ozzy got caught up in quite a bit of accident there early on in the feature, which took him out. But yeah, I managed to steer clear of that. Fortunately, got a bit lucky there, and from there it was just about being consistent and not making any mistakes.
Certainly, I do believe that for a brief moment, Ozzy Milwain was indeed a fan of Savage Garden because he did indeed go to the moon and back. But Jamie, I got to say, two P1s and a P2, that's got to be a good point. So, do you reckon you're going to be having be able to pull out enough to maybe challenge Clay Morris for the championship?
I don't know. I've unfortunately missed a few more races than I'd like this season. So we'll see when the drops come in. Hopefully I'm able to join for the last race. But no, I mean Clay's been pretty mega all season. So it was nice to be able to take the fight to him in a couple of races this season. But we'll see what can happen.
Well, certainly a very, very, very potent drive this evening, Jamie. And before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's performance?
I'd like to give a shout out to our production team and Michael Broomhead for organizing this. So Zippy, Daniel, awesome. Always a pleasure and enjoyable to watch the replays after and kind of see what happened elsewhere in the race. So thanks to you guys for putting on a great show and making it something everyone can watch.
Oh, certainly. I'm not used to being, something that someone that everybody can enjoy. That's certainly that's a new experience for me. But we do definitely appreciate the kind words. Certainly myself, Reese Gardner, and indeed Christian Hill in the production booth. But Jamie, we are indeed going to let you go. And again, a huge congratulations for tonight's success.
Cheers, guys.
Well, good job there from Jamie LeVay. Next up, we've got Asad Kardenbev in the commentary booth. And it was a good run from you, Asad, in the final race of the night. It took you a bit of drama to get there, though. You were dealing with damage in race 1, and race 2, you were battling your way up through the top 10. So a tough night all up, but the final result probably made it all worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I had bad luck the entire way through. So race one, I had that had the incident, and then race two, I rid the curb like Tony Hawk, as Robert said, and yeah, no, it was really bad, like overall. And then race three came around. Also had bad luck. Almost spun coming out of turn five and cost me like the entire grid basically passed me. And then after that, only good luck happened. Basically, that big crash happened, and then I was already like P6, I believe, and then after that, I was just I managed to have the pace to catch and pass some people, and with the pit stops, my pit stops were good this time. So I also I think gained one spot or something along the lines of that. So yeah, it was just bad luck until good luck right at the very end when it mattered.
Well, Spa is notoriously a brutal track, and sometimes the result can just evade you where needed. But we go to the final round in 2 weeks' time at Jerez. You're looking to close out the season with another great result there. Obviously, you are, but the track is, I think, a little bit closer in nature to the karting tracks that you'd be familiar with in the real world.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that track. I've seen the layout. It really reminds me of some tracks in real life, especially some of the ones that I raced. So that's pretty good. Pretty good stuff to carry on forward.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Assad. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
I would like to thank my mom and my dad. They're currently away in Washington D.C. Watching. Probably I don't know where, but yeah, watching from there. And I would like to thank my grandma and grandpa. They're also watching in the living room, and my little sister, my big sister, my entire family. Uh, and my sponsors, Performance Racing School, 45 Motorsports, and my new team, Flat Out Racing, for giving me the opportunity to race cars.
Fantastic stuff. Asad Kardenbev in car 230 getting a podium out of tonight's runnings here, Zippy. And I understand the last driver we're going to have a chat to is Keenan Harris, who managed to rocket his way up from 14th to 3rd in race 3.
Yeah, Keenan, definitely a much better result for you in that final race. Tell us a little bit about what your strategy was going here at Spa.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that kind of falling into my lap there and somehow making it through just cars everywhere on lap 2, it kind of come to tussle a bit in the first 2 races with Assad, and I was kind of behind him again. Figured, maybe not fight it, at least survive this one. Um, and then I made a mistake and let Alex McLean through, and I just figured, you know what, I'll try the undercut. I tried it at Imola the previous round I was able to do, and it didn't quite work because I made too many mistakes and ended up spinning out. But I figured, you know what, at least kind of get away from that and kind of go and do my own laps. And if they start fighting a bit, maybe I can gain a few positions. And yeah, it kind of just fell into my lap, 3rd place, and I saw everyone else came out of the pits, and I was P3, and it's like, okay, let's just go with this and see what happens.
Well, I've got to admit, sometimes attrition is the best way to go, keeping the car clean. Certainly, yeah, definitely a little bit more of a successful strategy than taking flight. Certainly, we've seen how that one works out, albeit incredibly entertaining. But Keenan, we're going to be heading over to Jerez for the final round. It seems to be quite a popular track with a lot of the drivers. Myself, not really familiar with it. What's going to be your experience there for the final round?
Maybe getting to watch some of it from work while I'm waiting for my plane to come in, but unfortunately, yeah, I won't be able to do the final round, which is unfortunate because I also love Jerez. It's a great track. I've raced it previously in public lobbies with the Super Formula lights and the Super Formula car, and it's fantastic. But yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to make that round.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to install a sim rig on whichever plane Keenan Harris is going on, we'd certainly love to see him take part. But don't get me wrong, I have a feeling we're going to have a hard time getting that through customs, and I don't think the guy flying the plane is going to be keen to continue doing that if there's a sim rig on board. Obviously, much more interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Everything happens a lot faster. But Keenan, congratulations on the P3. Before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, I guess thank you to my cats for moral support. I had to rush in the warm up there between racing 2 and 3 to give one his medication, but yeah, thank you to BIS, thank you to you, Zippy and Reese, for broadcasting and putting on a fantastic event, and Christian in production, of course. And
boy. Keep going. You're good. He's just very happy. He's usually the silent partner.
Yeah, and I guess Mike Broomhead for putting the league on, and everyone for sometimes it does get a bit hectic, and of course with the reverse grid, but it's generally a great group to race with, and just thanks to everybody. And yeah, sorry to Assad that we kind of came to blows a bit tonight in 2 races, but you know what, he's quick, he's aggressive, but I'd say he's still learning, he's still young, and it's kind of exciting to see how much he's improving week to week, league to league. So yeah.
I'll say it as you didn't, Keenan. You got to admit, it's incredibly irritating when a guy as young as Assad can be that potent, isn't it? It's just a little bit irritating.
A little bit, but I remember when I was that guy, so it's all good.
Yeah, we'll let him off. But ladies and gentlemen, your P3 finisher there in the main sprint, Mr. Keenan Harris, driving the number 13 car.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Keenan Harris. Once again in the final race of the evening, Zippy. And it sounds like that's going to be all we have time for tonight. So, man, penultimate round of the championship absolutely went off. And now we just got to see if Clay Morris can potentially seal his championship with one more win at Jerez next round, 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I got a feeling that right now he had had 2 hands on the cup, and one of them has indeed been slapped away. Jamie LeVay is starting to put one hand up there as well. But don't get me wrong, anything can indeed happen, not just in a race, but here on Pit Road Productions and indeed in BIS. But what an absolutely fantastic round. Certainly the biggest one of the season that I would myself want to drive. I was actually trying to find Morgan Smith to see if I could get him to cover. He's in Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen. Fair play. I hope he gets some fantastic fried chicken. Certainly, I know there's more to Kentucky than that, but it was an instant. I'm food motivated, ladies and gentlemen. But I think that's just about going to wrap it up for us here tonight on BIS. Again, keep an eye, scan that QR code. We'd love to see you guys here on the grid. A lot more opportunities coming this fall, this winter, and indeed, make sure you hit the subscribe button on Pit Road Productions as well. And if you like Twitch, we do sometimes stream on that as well, Pit Road Productions. By all means, I think we're at 2 subs on that. We could definitely double that by the end of this show. I'm sure there's enough people here who can hit that subscribe button for us, the follow button, whatever it is on Twitch. You get the idea. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me to my right is the one and only Mr. Reese, the Southport Racer Gardner, and at the production controls, the one and only, the silent partner, Mr. Christian Hill. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the final round of the BiS Formula 3 Championship.